So Lee, this is your first ever YouTube video. So for those people who don't know you, do you want to tell us a little bit about Boxing Clever?
Boxing Clever Academy started about, 13, 14 years ago. I think in 2009 we originally set up Boxing Clever. We originally set up with Boxing Clever UK, which was a profit organisation, but the work we was doing was not for profit. It was in the community, a lot of people, a lot of needs, not in education or training. So we then changed the makeup of the organisation to Boxing Clever Academy, which incorporated all this community work we do and the Boxing Clever Academy Boxing Club. So we went into schools. We started off going into schools and delivering engagement programs for kids that are not really engaging well in school, that don't really conform to the normal school system, because not everyone does. Not everyone does an Excel sitting behind a desk. Some people need a different approach. They need to be practical, hands-on, physical, and just because they're not academic doesn't mean they're not going to achieve. So we set up the Boxing Clever Academy. We went into schools, did a lot of accredited and non-accredited programs, and it work just snowballed from there. It was really successful, and then word of mouth, one thing led to another. Another school got in touch, another school got in touch, and I started getting people referred to me that weren't in school, that was in trouble with the police, and things like that, trying to get them off the streets and trying to keep them active in a positive way. So it just grew from there, really. And always being in boxing, I competed myself for the Army Combined Services. There was always going to be a boxing club through it. So we set up the Boxing Clever Academy Amateur Boxing Club, and that just progressed and progressed. We got probably 120, 130, maybe 150 members weekly attending sessions, from little kids from the age of 5 up to adults. I think 70-year-old is the oldest person who got access in the club. And they've come from lots of different reasons. They're not just coming for an educational setting, they're not just coming for competing in boxing. People come for their own self-esteem, to develop confidence. They've had bad experiences in life, so they see this as a coping strategy. And you'd be amazed the amount of people that come through them doors and the ways that boxing helps them.
Brilliant. So that's a little bit about Boxing Clever. What about you, Lee? Your background in the sport? You mentioned that you've done a bit for the army. Do you want to expand on that?
Yeah. As a kid, my dad was a black belt and a kung fu school, and I'd always done kung fu. Weren't really my thing. I was at the age where everyone watched the Rocky films, and I always wanted to be Rocky. So, but my dad had never let me do boxing because he was always kung fu. So when I joined the army, I got the opportunity to go and join a boxing club, which I did. There was a boxing club on camp. And I just went along, loved it. I just felt natural to it. I picked it up really well. I had quite a good aptitude for boxing. I could move well. I picked things up a lot easier than most people did, and it just went from there. I joined the camp boxing team, went and competed in the Army Novice Individual Championships. I won them, and then while I was there in Aldershot competing at that, I got spotted by the Army boxing team and was asked to go and do a trial there. When I did the trial, they had me on the team there. And then I probably spent the last 7 years boxing full time for the Army and Combined Services. Boxed all around the world, lots of different countries, boxing in the national final in the Wembley Conference Centre in London, went on England training camps and various things like that. So I've got a lot of experience in boxing from all levels and all stages.
So as you just mentioned there, that you've been all around the world, no doubt learning from many different coaches, many different styles of fighting. Do you think that's helped you as a coach?
Definitely. It helped me as a boxer as well. Being on the Army team, every year or two, we'd have a new coach, and they all had their own methods, their own ways, their own ethos. And you learn, it's like the walks of life in everything that you do. You learn from each person that you come in contact with. You get experiences, good and bad, from them, and you take bits from it. I've had lots of different coaches within the Army, but also around the country. Midlands level, England level, I've been in contact with coaches at that level. So I've also been an England coach. I was on England talent pool as a coach for a few years. So I've seen boxing at every level in many different areas. And that's what I've done. I've taken the good and the bad. You learn from everybody. You can always pick something up, whether it's good or bad. It educates you in some way. And I've taken elements from everything that I've done, which has led us to the Boxing Clever Academy.
Yeah, so you've literally just touched on it there. You've got a lot of experience with a lot of coaches, so you can take the good and the bad
Yeah.
and then kind of roll all of that good into one, and that's you and Boxing Clever Academy, and that's kind of what you've done with that experience.
Definitely. It's more than being a person as well. So, you know, you bring your own personality to everything that you do. And it seems, my personality seems to be working well within this setting because we've got lots of members, I've got lots of good boxers, good levels, I've got very good levels as an amateur. I've got 2 pro boxers and there's 2 local pro boxers that I work with. So we're a renowned boxing club, we're very big on the footwork, we're very big on the fundamentals of boxing. So getting everything right from the base up. And we're very specific, quite different, quite innovative in how we do things. There's lots of different ways of achieving the same thing in boxing, that's the beauty of it. You've got to be a bit innovative and a bit open-minded to try things differently. Because boxing can be a boring sport, let's be honest. And if you don't keep it fresh, people lose interest. And then that's where it's helped me being in contact with lots of different people, because everyone's got different ideas, everyone's got different ways, and you always pick things up. And I quite like the fact that I'm quite innovative and I can see something and change it and mould it towards my style and my ethos of coaching, my ethos of boxing, which has led us to here.
So, going to put you on the spot now, because you just briefly mentioned it. A couple of local pros, couple of pros in the gym. Come on, we want you to name drop. People are going to want to know who they are.
Well, it's just local lads that I've known from amateurs. I've worked with them in the past as amateurs. Rick Wilson Ben, he's doing really well as a pro now. He comes in once or twice a week and does sessions. We're very well renowned for footwork here, so I do things very specifically from the floor up, and a lot of people come in and tap into that. So it's good for the area, it's good for us as a club, it's good for the boxers, getting something out of it, and that's how you grow and how you learn. I have Riv Wilson Ben coming in, doing some work, also George Vance, who's a local prospect, doing very well. I work with him, I'm joint coach for him.
Youngest boxer in the UK at the moment.
He's the youngest boxer to turn pro in the UK, yeah, when he turned pro. He comes in a couple of times a week and does a session when he's in camp. And he won his first national title at this club. He used to come here and box as an amateur. And while he was here, he won a national title. So yeah, we've got a good base, we've got a good grounding, and the word's getting out there.
Good. So last question. Obviously there's a big buzz around it locally at the minute, but there's a home show coming on, first home show in a long time I believe, October 23rd. You're going to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, this year we've got 4 shows booked, October, November, December, then April and May, I think, something like that. But the first one I'm going to do is quite unique, quite specific, and very different. I've not known of any other clubs doing it, but we're looking to broadcast this show live out on YouTube. So with lots of things we're trying to do to try and bring amateur boxing, local amateur boxing up to meet a bit more of the pros. There's a lot of talent in the amateur game around here, certainly in this area. It's buzzing with amateur boxers, not just our club. There's lots of good local boxers in the amateur game, and if we can provide a platform for them to feel special, to learn, to develop, and go out there and compete at a higher level in sense of what the settings, the surrounding, it's going to give people in the sport a buzz. It's going to keep people in amateur boxing. There's going to be more interest in coming and boxing within the club. People are going to learn more because they want to get onto our shows, and it's a fantastic opportunity. And we've had a lot of support because we're a community organisation. We do a lot of stuff for other people in the community, a lot of other people in need, and there's various things. There's various people struggling within the community, and we're going to donate a portion of our money from the shows, certainly on this show and then the next ones, to some local causes. So there's a lot of people, a lot of companies that have sponsored our boxers and the show. So without their help, and the same for every local club up and down the country, we're a community organisation. We don't get anything for what we do. We rely on local businesses and local people that are generous, like a lot of people are around here, to help us financially to sponsor boxers or sponsor the show, so we can make these shows like we're doing for this one, hopefully.
Brilliant.
And help other local good causes.
So, in one sentence, okay, why should people buy tickets or tune in to watch this show?
Because it's going to be a spectacle of amateur boxing. When we match our boxers, we get them from all around the country. I don't just use local boxers. All our boxers are local, obviously, but we get the best boxers that we can from around the country. So it spreads the platform a bit more, and it gives us better entertainment. So the shows are a lot better to watch. There's a lot higher level of boxing. It's a lot more interesting because there's a lot of different people from around the country involved, rather than quiet, central and local. And it's just good for everyone. It's good for our lads, it's good for local people, it's good for local people to come and watch. They feel part of something, and they buy into what we're trying to do here. We're not just a boxing club, we're a social club, we're a family here, and people need looking after. They don't just come here to get fit and compete, they come here for many different reasons, because they might be struggling in their own life at home, might be struggling at home, might be struggling in school, might be struggling at work, they might feel low about themselves, and the ethos we have here, the togetherness, it makes a massive difference to people's lives. We will continue to do that because there's a lot of people out there that do amazing things that don't get the praise they deserve for it, and there's also a lot of people out there that need help, that are decent people that just struggle and need help. And if clubs and organisations like ourselves can do something for them, then it's for the benefit of everybody.
No. It's brilliant. Obviously, I know you all, so I know that there's a lot of hype around this show. Everyone's excited to see it. We can't wait to watch it. Hopefully, there'll be plenty more videos with you and some more fighters, interviews.
Definitely.
With the gym. So brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.